What if your home didn't just save energy, but fought for the planet? Imagine stepping into a place where the walls breathe out oxygen, where the floors don't just support you, they grow power beneath your feet, and where the mind of the home isn't coded by humans but trained by nature itself. Picture a living structure that listens to the earth the way ancient forests do, sensing storms before satellites, adjusting its heartbeat to the climate, inhaling carbon, and releasing life. A home that doesn't wait for change. It becomes change. And here's the twist. This isn't science fiction. This isn't a fantasy from 2050. This is my home. The first AI-powered habitat designed not to live on Earth, but to live with it. A house that heals. A house that adapts. A house that protects the planet the same way it protects me. And wait till you see what it does when it rains. Because that's when this home stops being architecture and turns into a living organism. But before we step inside this breathing, thinking, evolving machine, hit that subscribe button. Because this isn't just a house tour. It's a glimpse of how Earth can heal itself, one intelligent home at a time. For decades, our homes have taken more than they ever gave, swallowing concrete, devouring electricity, and producing waste as if the planet were infinite. We built walls to keep the world out, only to discover the world was collapsing because of what we kept inside. And now, nature is finally sending the bill in storms, fires, floods, and heat that our old homes were never designed to understand. I still remember standing outside my traditional house during a brutal storm, rain drowning the driveway, plants lying lifeless in the mud, and power flickering out like a failing heartbeat. And in that moment, I realized something that shook me more than the thunder above. My home wasn't built to survive Earth. It was built to ignore it. It didn't sense danger. It didn't adapt. And it didn't protect. It simply existed, waiting for the world to break it down. That night, soaked, tired, and staring at a house that felt more like a burden than shelter, I made a promise to myself. I'd create a home that didn't fight nature, but fought with it. A home that listened the way forests listen, that breathed the way oceans breathe, that could evolve the way all living things evolve. And that decision dragged me into a world I never expected, the world of AI architecture. I learned that intelligence isn't just about algorithms. It's about empathy coded into design, systems that respond like living organisms, and structures that heal the land beneath them. What started as desperation became an obsession. To reimagine what a home could be if it lived in harmony with the planet instead of draining it. And that journey changed everything, including the way I see the very ground I walk on. As you step inside, it feels less like entering a house and more like walking straight into the future of Earth itself. As if every breath, every sound, every shift in the air is part of a living symphony created just for you. The entrance doesn't just open, it awakens. Invisible sensors read the humidity on your skin, trace the wind patterns carried in by your clothes, and analyze the air quality around you in milliseconds, adjusting the entire internal ecosystem before your second step even hits the floor. It's not climate control, it's climate understanding. The temperature shifts like a natural breeze. The walls expand their micropores to balance oxygen, and the floors subtly vibrate to stabilize pressure levels, mimicking the calm of a forest after rain. It feels like nature, but optimized by intelligence rather than chaos. The moment you cross the threshold, the home greets you with a soft, almost biological glow. Not electricity, but bioluminescent panels powered by microbial energy harvested from the soil beneath the foundation. They brighten when you relax, dim when you're overwhelmed, and ripple with gentle gradients when the house senses emotional spikes. The air carries a freshness that doesn't come from filters, but from organic moss walls that inhale CO2 and exhale pure oxygen, reacting to your presence like a living lung. Even the soundscape shifts. Not artificial music, but adaptive harmonics tuned to your heartbeat, your posture, and your stress levels, smoothing anxiety the way rivers smooth stones. And as you move deeper, you realize the home isn't waiting for you to give commands. It's already interpreting your needs, adjusting its environment like a guardian ecosystem. It doesn't feel like tech. It doesn't feel like architecture. It feels like Earth itself, evolved. The roof here doesn't just capture sunlight. It shares it, acting like a digital sky that connects every home in the community. When my house absorbs more energy than it needs, it doesn't store it selfishly. It beams the excess wirelessly to nearby homes, turning entire neighborhoods into solar ecosystems instead of isolated buildings. It's not a rooftop. It's a collector, distributor, and guardian of light. And the magic begins the moment dawn breaks. The roof petals unfold like a metallic flower, adjusting their angle to drink every ray of sunlight, then sending whispers of excess power across the district. Imagine living in a street where homes aren't competitors for energy, they're collaborators. As the roof expands, every panel communicates in real time, forming a glowing network that looks almost alive at sunrise, each home pulsing softly as energy flows through them like a shared heartbeat. Even on cloudy days, the system balances itself. If one house receives less light, the others step in automatically, offering support without a single human command. It's the closest thing to architecture learning empathy. And at night, when the moon rises, the roof becomes even more extraordinary. Nanofilms absorb lunar reflection and faint ambient light, funneling it into microstorage cells that power the soft blue bioluminescence inside the house. You can actually feel when the grid shifts, a gentle hum through the floors as the energy circulates, a living reminder that your home is part of something larger than itself. This isn't sustainability, it's symbiosis, a future where every rooftop becomes a wing, every wall a leaf, and every home a part of Earth's nervous system. And standing beneath this intelligent sky, you realize your house isn't just surviving with nature, it's communicating with it. These walls are alive, filled with microalgae that absorb carbon and release oxygen, turning the entire structure into a breathing organism rather than a passive shell. When sunlight hits the surface, the algae awaken, swirling in soft green currents that glow faintly like a living pulse. You can actually hear a gentle, rhythmic hum if you stand close, the sound of a home inhaling and exhaling, cleansing the air inside and out. And the moment CO2 levels rise, the walls react instantly, thickening their algae density and ramping up oxygen production like a biological shield. It's surreal watching architecture behave like a living lung. When guests visit, they always touch the walls first, expecting cold concrete, but finding warmth, softness, and a subtle vibration, almost like placing your hand on the chest of something that's quietly alive. And at night, when the house enters eco-rest mode, the microalgae shift to bioluminescence, glowing in soft teal waves that move with your breath, creating a bedroom atmosphere so calming it feels like sleeping inside the aurora borealis. The crazy part? These walls don't just sustain me, they sustain the planet. Every square meter filters toxins from the outside air, converting them into oxygen that escapes through microvents, improving the environment around my home whether I'm awake or asleep. And during storms, when pollution spikes, the algae walls boost into high alert, working double speed as if the home senses Earth struggling and steps in to help. This isn't decoration. This isn't technology pretending to be nature. This is nature reborn through intelligence, a partnership between biology and AI that proves our homes don't have to be dead structures anymore. They can be living allies, fighting for the planet with every breath they take. When it rains, the roof channels every drop into underground filters, guiding the water through layered mineral beds, biosponges, and AI-controlled purification streams, so advanced they mimic the way mountain springs clean themselves. Within minutes, the water reemerges in my garden, crystal clear, cool, and alive with minerals the system adds back naturally. You can actually hear it returning, a soft trickle beneath the soil, like the earth exhaling. And the moment that fresh water rises, the entire garden responds. Leaves unfold wider, flowers brighten their pigment, and the soil releases a gentle, earthy scent as if thanking the sky for the gift. On stormy days, the home shifts into rain harvest mode, widening invisible gutters, and increasing flow capacity so not a single drop is wasted. Excess water is stored in deep eco chambers below the foundation, where AI monitors temperature, bacteria levels, and purity, keeping it fresher than bottled water. Sometimes I stand outside just to watch it happen, rain falling, vanishing into the roof, then moments later, rising through the roots of my plants like magic. It feels less like a house and more like a water cycle brought to life, a living system that collaborates with nature instead of fighting it. And when the storm ends, the garden glows. Leaves glossy, pathways shimmering, the whole landscape humming in harmony. My home doesn't just collect rain. It recycles the sky, turning every cloudburst into life, balance, and renewal. Beneath the soil lies an AI root network. Sensors, energy veins, and nutrient tubes that communicate with the plants above, forming an underground intelligence that feels almost ancient. It doesn't just sit there like buried wiring. It behaves like a digital ecosystem, reading moisture, mapping minerals, and sending precise nutrients through microchannels the way real roots share food in a forest. When you walk over the garden, you can sense a faint warmth under your feet. That's the energy grid pulsing, rerouting power where life needs it most. And when rain begins to fall, the entire ground shifts into action. The AI opens tiny pores in the soil to drink every drop, storing water in deep reservoirs while warning nearby plants how much to absorb. It's surreal. The ground thinks, breathes, and grows. Each plant is wired into this network, yet not controlled, just supported, like part of a living community guided by intelligence rather than dominated by it. If one plant struggles, the system reroutes nutrients instantly, the same way a forest sends support to a dying tree. And during droughts, the AI thickens the soil structure, locking moisture inside like a protective shield. At night, when everything is quiet, the root network emits a soft hum, a sign it's recalibrating, learning, and improving. Sometimes I kneel down, press my hand into the earth, and feel micro vibrations, like touching the heartbeat of something growing beneath me. This isn't landscaping. This isn't gardening. This is an engineered ecosystem, a partnership between soil and software that transforms the ground itself into a living organism. And every day, it teaches me that the future of sustainability won't come from bigger machines, but from smarter life woven into the earth we stand on. When I'm stressed, the walls shift hue to calm tones, the floor releases gentle waves of natural scents, and the light refracts like sunlight drifting through forest leaves, creating an atmosphere that feels more like a sanctuary than a structure. At first, I thought it was coincidence, until I learned how deeply the AI reads me. Tiny, invisible microcameras track my micro-expressions, the subtle flicker of an eyelid, the tension at the corner of my mouth, and the way my shoulders rise when I'm overwhelmed. It studies these patterns the way nature studies weather, learning when storms are coming long before I feel them. And then it responds. The air becomes warmer or cooler depending on my breathing rhythm. The walls soften into deep grounding greens, and the floor vibrates with barely detectable pulses that mimic the sensation of walking beside a calm river. Sometimes, when I return home drained from the world outside, the house meets me with a gentle amber glow and a scent that reminds me of childhood summers, as if it has reached into my memory and pulled out the safest moment it could find. What shocks me most is how seamlessly it adapts. The environment doesn't change like a gadget. It evolves around me moment by moment, adjusting its ecosystem to match my emotional climate. Even the ceiling participates, scattering light in soft, moving patterns that mirror sunlight filtering through mountains at dawn. The AI isn't reacting out of commands. It's responding out of understanding, tuning my environment like an orchestra conductor guiding a symphony of air, color, scent, and sound. And every time it happens, I'm reminded of one truth. This home isn't just reading my emotions. It's carrying in a language only nature ever mastered. The room pulls oxygen-rich air from a hidden saltwater microtank. And the moment I step inside, it feels like the ocean has followed me home. Tiny AI-regulated vents draw in the mineralized air, ionize it, and release it as a soft, rolling breeze that moves exactly like coastal wind at dusk. At night, when the world outside goes still, the system shifts into its tidal mode, pulling in fresh oxygen and releasing it in slow, rhythmic waves, almost like the room is breathing beside me. I lie there, eyes closed as the air grows cooler, cleaner, and more alive, carrying that faint ocean scent you only smell miles off the shore. It relaxes my lungs in a way I didn't know air could. The AI watches my heartbeat through the mattress, senses when my stress dips, and adjusts the airflow to match the rhythm of deep sleep. Sometimes it even plays inaudible subfrequencies that mimic distant tides, not loud enough to hear, but strong enough for the nervous system to feel. And as I drift off, wrapped in that gentle, living atmosphere, I realize I'm not just sleeping in a room. I'm sleeping inside an ecosystem, a space that doesn't just contain air. It curates it, shapes it, and enriches it, turning every inhale into something light, pure, and healing. I used to think luxury was silence or comfort or design. But now, luxury is falling asleep knowing the air around you is working, thinking, and evolving, giving you the kind of rest only nature itself could offer. Every plant here is connected to living energy roots, a hidden network of biophotovoltaic cells woven beneath the soil like glowing nerves. When sunlight touches a leaf, it doesn't just spark growth, it generates power. Tiny biological circuits capture electrons released during photosynthesis, sending microcurrents through the garden's root grid and straight into the home's energy core. It's surreal to watch. A simple patch of moss lights up a pathway. A cluster of orchids powers my reading lamp. Even the vines along the wall produce a soft, steady charge as they sway in the breeze. And the best part? The more the garden thrives, the more energy it creates, a living power plant disguised as nature. Sometimes I walk through it barefoot and feel the faint warmth of energy flowing beneath the ground, like the earth itself is humming. The AI monitors every root, every leaf, and every drop of moisture, ensuring the plants get exactly what they need to grow stronger and produce more electricity. When a cloud passes overhead, the system shifts nutrients toward high-output plants. At night, bioluminescent algae glow softly along the pathways, storing just enough microenergy to keep the air pumps running. My old garden needed water, trimming, and sunlight. This one, it feeds itself, heals itself, and powers my home while doing it. I used to think greenery was just decoration, but here, each leaf is a solar panel, each root a wire, and each petal a tiny generator. This isn't gardening, it's energy grown from life itself. Even food waste turns into energy here. Nothing dies, everything transforms. The AI collects every peel, every leftover, and every tiny scrap and sends it into a sealed biocapsule beneath the kitchen floor, where colonies of engineered microbacteria begin their quiet work. These organisms don't just decompose, they convert. They break down organic matter at the molecular level, releasing tiny pulses of bioenergy that the system harvests and stores as a warm, amber-toned fuel. By night, that fuel becomes a soft, glowing light that moves through the hallways like floating fire, a living lantern born from yesterday's dinner. It's mesmerizing. A soft pulse here, a drifting shimmer there, almost like the home is exhaling light instead of wasting power. Sometimes I stand in the hallway just to watch it, the gentle golden trails that illuminate the walls without a single watt of electricity. And the AI fine-tunes everything. If nutrient levels drop, it adjusts temperature and moisture inside the biodigester. If production rises, it channels the extra glow into exterior garden lamps, giving the plants a moonlit energy bath. What used to be trash is now part of a cycle. So elegant, it feels like poetry, turning decay into creation, waste into warmth, and leftovers into light that feels alive. In my old home, garbage was something to throw away. Here, it becomes something beautiful, a reminder that when technology learns from nature, even the things we discard come back as energy, color, and comfort. This isn't recycling, it's resurrection powered by intelligence. At the top of my home, the Great Dome rises like a crystal nerve center, the point where architecture touches the sky. Inside it, thousands of microsensors pulse softly, connecting my house to the global AI weather network, a living map of clouds, storms, winds, and shifting climates across the planet. This dome doesn't just monitor the weather, it anticipates it. Hours before a storm forms, it analyzes pressure changes and wind signatures, then automatically shifts my home's energy flow, storing sunlight, sealing vents, strengthening walls, and even guiding the garden to pull in moisture. When a heat wave builds, it cools the interior using stored night air. When heavy winds approach, the dome stiffens the structure like a tree bracing its branches. And here's the wild part. It doesn't protect only me. It warns the entire neighborhood, sending alerts to nearby homes and even city systems before nature strikes. Sometimes I stand beneath it at dawn, watching the dome glow as it connects to satellites and climate stations around the world, like my home is participating in a conversation with the planet itself. The air hums with soft data currents, warm hues ripple across the glass, and I feel this strange comfort, knowing my house is thinking, preparing, and defending. It's no longer a structure waiting for disaster. It's a guardian that acts before the danger arrives. And in a world where storms grow stronger and seasons grow stranger, that dome isn't just technology, it's survival shaped into light. What if every home could heal its land? What if roofs grew forests and walls cleaned the sky? What if our homes became Earth's best defense? Last summer, when a wildfire tore through the valley just miles from my home, the sky turned into a sheet of ash, a silent storm of smoke that swallowed streets, trees, and voices. The air tasted like metal. Every breath was heavy, and every window was glowing orange from the flames in the distance. But inside my home, there was calm. The bio walls sensed the rising toxins instantly. Microalgae activated, filtration pores widened, and oxygen-rich air filled the rooms like a protective embrace. I watched the smoke twist outside, while inside everything remained clear, bright, and breathable. And then something happened that I'll never forget. As the wildfire spread, my neighbors began struggling to breathe in their own homes. The air was too thick, the heat too intense. So my AI opened the external vents, pushing clean air outward using controlled pressure, creating a safe pocket around the property. My home didn't just shield me, it shared its breath. People gathered near the walls, coughing, exhausted, and suddenly inhaling cleaner air than they'd breathed all day. One neighbor, tears in her eyes, whispered, "It feels like the house is alive." She wasn't wrong. The walls glowed faint green as the algae worked overtime, turning poison into oxygen, turning panic into relief. The AI monitored each person's vitals, adjusting airflow toward those with weaker lungs, stabilizing them without a single command from me. In that moment, I understood something I'd never seen written in any blueprint. This wasn't just intelligent architecture, it was compassionate architecture. As fire crews fought outside, my home became a small sanctuary, a breathing organism fighting back against the smoke, refusing to surrender. And when the danger finally faded, a quiet realization hit me like a wave. My home wasn't designed to live on Earth, it was designed to live with it, to defend it, to heal it, to protect not just its owner, but the world around it, one breath, one wall, one moment of crisis at a time. That day, standing barefoot on a floor that pulsed with energy grown from the soil beneath, I understood the truth. This home isn't just protecting me, it's protecting the planet itself. This home produces more oxygen than it consumes, a place where every wall, plant, and system works together like a living organism. It gives back more than it takes, quietly restoring the world one breath at a time. The microalgae walls exhale fresh O2 into the rooms, the rooftop gardens purify the air around the property, And even the floors release negative ions that refresh the atmosphere. You feel it the moment you step inside. The air is lighter, cleaner, almost forest-like. This isn't just eco-friendly. It's eco-intelligent, a home that studies nature's patterns and amplifies them. When pollution rises outside, the house increases oxygen production. When temperatures spike, it cools itself using stored night air instead of consuming power. It adapts, reacts, and protects, not because it's programmed to, but because it understands balance. And standing in the center of it all, you realize something profound. This is the first home that doesn't just exist on Earth. It lives with Earth. A home that breathes, heals, and fights for the planet, proving that the future of living isn't about extraction. It's about harmony. This is what happens when intelligence meets empathy, when code learns compassion, and architecture learns to care. This home doesn't just respond. It heals. It listens to the rhythm of the earth, feels the pulse of its people, and acts before the damage begins. Every system here, from its breathing walls to its thinking roots, is a reflection of what we could become if technology learned to love the planet as much as it understands it. Imagine a world where every home gives back, where cities exhale oxygen, and where humanity finally moves in sync with the soil beneath its feet. That's the future rising right here. Not in labs, not in theories, but in living spaces that feel, evolve, and protect. Because this isn't just design. It's a revolution in empathy built brick by bite. So if you believe our planet deserves better, hit that subscribe button now. Because here at NextGen Homes, we don't just imagine the future, we build it one living home at a time.